Hi and welcome to David Tom Creations channel. This week I'm going to have a look at the other software that comes with the KORG WAVESTATE, which is the sample builder. So I've already done a video on the WAVESTATE editor librarian, so I thought I'll have a look and get to grips with the sample builder and kind of show you how it works and what I've been doing with it. So it's a bit of a faff, to be honest, the way that they've designed it. So I'm going to kind of run through the kind of two parts to it. So you've got the multi-sample part where you bring in your WAV files, and then you've got the bank. Now, when you open it, for some reason, it doesn't open your bank, because generally you've only got one main bank, because every time you send it to the WaveState, it'll override the existing user bank. So anyway, so the first thing you have to do is open your bank. So mine is just called DTC Chord Bank. So that has got all of my multi-samples that I have been working on. So the LC ones are Loop Cloud and the MR ones are Music Radar. And then we've got a whole batch from output. So that's AES is Analog Strings. We've got Exhale, and Movement, Rev, and some Signal. So the last one I've got to do is Substance, I think. So I'm gonna bring some of them in and show you how I have been doing it. So what you can do is, if you want to load these, you can just double click these, and it'll open in the multi-sample. So this is Bad Guys. So this is, I've set this to a fixed pitch, and it's a loop, so one shot is switched off. So I'll show you kind of both. So that is, I'll kind of put that as a sequence attack. So I'll show you. So in here you've got the number of zones. So these are just loops. So if it's got kind of one zone, it's generally a looped fixed pitch sound. And then I've created some drum kits. So you can see this one's got 32 zones, 24, 18, 18. Bass has got 4. So there's a bit of a mixture. So I'll show you some of the Music Radar ones. I'll show you the Chill Beats kit. You can see that. So that I've brought in, what was that, 24 samples? No, hang on. 24 samples have been brought in. So each of them are auto mapped to this keyboard. So we've got different beats. So if I just hold that, it should just loop. So if you want these not to loop, you can switch, say this one, if you switch one shot on, it will just, that's it. So generally for most of them, I've been switching that on to loop, just because I think that'll be more useful when I'm using these. And normally I've had to adjust the level, so I haven't adjusted it in this one. So normally I've been kind of ramping the levels up. So because when I brought them in to the WaveState, they've been pretty quiet. And the WaveState only goes to plus 6 dB, so it's easier to bring them down than bring them up. So I've ramped them up. So the only problem is you have to do that for each sample. So so you can see that one's been done, and so I'm going to have to go through all of these and increase them individually. There doesn't seem to be any way of like selecting all. Oh no, there's no. So that's a bit weird. I don't know if you can shift click. No, you can't shift click either. So yeah, so I don't think, there's nothing in the menu. It says select all. No. So yeah, so I'll probably do that. And then once you've made any changes, if you can save that, and it'll save that multi-sample. So that is kind of what I've been doing. So let's have a look at some of the movement ones. So you can see this is just across the whole keyboard. So if you don't want, I mean, sometimes I've been moving them down to the so that it's only between like C2 and C4. So if we want to do that, we just like the easiest way is just to drag this up and down. So if we want this to go from C2 to say, let's say C5, you just do that, and then so no matter where I play, it's the same sound because I've got fixed pitch. So if I switch fixed pitch off, this will now. So this is the original key. So it says original key C4. So you can actually change that as well. So if I don't want the original key there, I can move it down to say C3. And that now becomes the original key. And then I could switch this back down so that it's only going to go from C2 to C4. So that is the problem when you've got one sample. It just pitch shifts all the way up so that I mean, some of them would be usable, some of them wouldn't. I mean, you know, that one might be kind of usable. So generally, I've just been for these type of samples, just been leaving them on. And let's say one shot is switched off, so these are looped. So if I want to, I'll just save that, and then we'll go back and we'll find. Let's see some of the music radar. There's a bass one there. So yeah, so this had a few. Well, it's obviously had 4 WAV files, so I've kind of left it so that was the original. So you are getting a scale up until about, and then it doesn't sound like a bass. So yeah. Right, so I'll save that and go back to bank. So yeah, so I'm going to leave a link to the Music Radar site where there are loads and loads of samples, and they have kind of kits. So it's quite good. So you can bring in a whole kit like I did with the 808. So that has got the whole. The whole kit right across the board, so that's probably the biggest one, isn't it? That's yeah, 32 samples. There's the CZ bass, so you can see it had. So I've used the C1 to C4 WAV files, and then you could create another one, and then you could add in more if you wanted to. So that's quite a good place to get kind of multi samples, because that is part of the problem. If you want it to really work up the keyboard, up and down the keyboard, then you do need, you know, multi-key samples rather than just one WAV file. But it depends on, I mean, like I said, it depends on what the sample is. I mean, it can work fine both ways. You just have to fix pitch it. So yeah, so there's absolutely thousands of free samples on Music Radar. So you've got hits, so you've got bass, drum, clavs, all that sort of thing, and then you've got loops, so you can get loops of the beats as well. So that's a pretty good place to find kind of samples to try out, because it's a real trial and error thing, the sample builder. And the other ones that I've been using are the free loops from Output version 2. So these are the ones. So I've still got to do Substance. So you can download that from my DCC store. You can download this free, and I'll show you some more of those ones. So for instance, where have we got Exhale? So let's have a look at, we'll just start off with that one. And you can adjust the levels differently, because like I said, I've ramped most of these up, so you can adjust so you could have the right up, right up, whatever, and muck about with them. So they're quite nice. I mean, they're kind of lending themselves to. I was trying to get a bit more kind of different kind of style samples on the Wavestate, some more kind of vocal ones, and some of the things that is kind of lacking of, like some reverse stuff. So if you go to Rev, so I've used these in quite a few tracks actually, so you might recognise that. Yeah, because the Wavestate doesn't seem to have much in the way of reversed samples, so so that's something that I'm going to try and do in Logic, and reverse some stuff and bring it in. I haven't been able to find a kind of easy way to reverse existing multi-samples on the Wavestate. So if anybody knows an easy way to do that, let me know in the comments, and I will add it into another video. So so that is it. So the main thing is, once you've changed anything in here, so say like I adjust that and then I save that, the one thing that you have to do is remember to save the bank, because if you don't, it won't actually update the bank. Because you can, this is the difference between this and the editor librarian. You can use the sample loader without the Wavestate connected. So the only time you need to connect it is when you're going to send the bank over, and it'll rewrite your user patches. So like I said, you can work away in this and save samples, and then, which is what I was doing for a few days, just working away on this and creating these, and then when I've got Wavestate on, I just send this over. So I'll show you kind of roughly how I've been doing it. So we'll start with a new sample, and then we'll import. So like I said, I am working my way through. So let's have a look at Substance. So we'll bring in this first one, sub bass, and just right. So like I said, that's just mapped that right across the board, and so like I said, this is what it sounds like. So I said that needs to come up quite a bit. Yeah, we'll leave it as a one shot. So and like I said, there's no point adjusting the keyboard if you don't. I mean, you can if you want, but you might as well just leave it. So the next thing is, we'll put in this. So I've just been naming these. So this will be oh, that'll be my glasses hitting the mic. This will be sub caps, sub and bass and bells, and then category will say bass, and then it comes up with my author. And then if you want to put notes in, you can type in notes in there. They don't come up. That's just for your kind of benefit. And then we'll save, and then it'll ask me if I want to, where I want to save my multi-sample. So I've got a folder. Let me make this bigger. I've got a folder, and you can see all the multi-samples that I've done. Now it's important that you have to keep this all in the same place. So you have basically one folder. So you have to do a bit of kind of organization before you start. I mean, some people like load all the samples that they're using into the same folder, but mine are like all over the place, so that would take far too long. So the original sample, I just leave that where it is, but all the multi-samples are in this one folder. So and then we just save that, and then if you go across to bank, it'll be there, sub, bass and bells. Now the thing is that it took it took me a wee while to realise that every time you do this, you have to save the bank. So if I quit this without saving, I would lose that, but the multi-sample would still be there. So that is the good thing about the multi-sample. And I have forgot to save the bank. So I think especially if you're just tooling about with adjusting previous multi-samples rather than creating new ones. So anyway, so if I'll just save that anyway. Right, so that's one way of doing one kind of WAV file. And we'll just bring in, so just Apple N for new and then Apple I for import. And then let's see what we've got. So we've got crushing swells. Right. Well, that's quite cool. Right, so we can ramp it up a bit. It's not quite as quiet as the last one. So that one we could actually leave as a... Right, we'll just drag this back down. See, let's do that from 2. Top key down to C5. So it still sounds like a bass. So we can actually maybe go up a bit more from C5. See, how far does it go up? Right, so turns. I'll just see what it sounds like when it's looping. I'll bring it down. Yeah, so that's maybe better leaving the loop, leaving it as a loop. And you can adjust the loop points. It's a bit vague, but you can adjust them from each end, which I have done on some of the ones where they've got quite a long tail. But because these are kind of designed to be looped, I would just leave these as they are. So yeah, so like I said, we can leave that one as an actual. So we're going from there to. So yeah, kind of still sounds a bit like a bass. Right, and this is sub crush swells. And then we are in bass. And then we'll save that. And there we go. And then it's come up. I mean, automatically it goes to this folder, so it's not a problem. And then we just save that. So that is this. And then we go back, and there it is, crush swells. So you get the idea. It's a bit laborious, but hey ho. It's better than not being able to add your own samples at all. But yeah, the whole multi-sample bank thing is a bit confusing at first until you get the hang of it. So yeah, so what I was going to do is I was going to bring in some an actual range of samples, and I'll kind of show you how that works as well. So we'll go to new. Let's have a look at house samples. So yeah, so these have got a whole kit. Let's have a look at kits. Right, so bass. So let's bring in this lot and see what that sounds like. So yeah, so like I said, it's really annoying. You can't just select them all, and like I said, you can't even shift click them. You have to do them individually, and then like either switch one shot off or on, or fix pitch. So we'll switch this all on, and then this one. God, it's so annoying. Right. Right, so and the other thing is, if you want to adjust the levels, you've got to do that individually as well. It's like, for Christ's sake. So we'll switch one shot off as well. So for instance, you could have that. Well, the thing is, you can actually have some of them as loops and some as one shots. So the problem is that I can't play more than one note with, because you have to use the mouse for this to work. It's so annoying. You can't even use a keyboard for this to actually see what it sounds like. So we could have that kind of going, and then we could one shot. Some of these, you see. So yeah, so I might actually just I'll kind of loop maybe 4 of these ones, and then I can one shot the rest, and we'll see what that sounds like later on on the actual wave state. So this is a music reader, isn't it? And it is MySpace. And we are bass, and that is it. And I might the levels, yeah, maybe bump up some of those loop levels as well. Right, so we'll save that, and then remember to save my bank, and then whatever it is, what was it? Yeah, so it's there. And it has 10 tones. So you can see it's quite a useful place to get samples that you can actually bring in across a keyboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the wave state, and then I'm going to send this bank over and show you how to actually access these on the wave state. And I will try and take some photos of my screen and kind of show you, because my camera doesn't really pick up the screen very well because it's so small. Yeah, so I'll show you how to send the bank over and how to access those within your user kind of section of the wave state. So that is it for this kind of initial sample builder overview. So hopefully that's kind of helped in showing you how to use different styles, either one WAV file or like I said, 5, 10, whatever. So yeah, so like I said, I will get this hooked up, and I will carry on with this video. Hi and welcome back to part 2 of the KORG sample builder review and demo. And I have got my wave state hooked up now, and we are recording in Logic. So I thought I would carry on and show you how to get your bank over to the wave state and then access your new multi-samples. So this is the multi-sample and the bank page. So it shows you up here, I'm connected to KORG state, wave state 1, and it gives you a kind of rough idea. So the bank RAM size is 9 meg, and we've got 50 meg total, and my storage size, I've only got 300 meg out of 4 gigabyte. So that is going to be a hell of a lot of multi-samples, because they are not very big, as you can see. Most of them are like, you know, what's the biggest one, 26 meg or something. Yeah, I mean they're tiny files. So all you do is just send this bank over, and it'll prepare bank, and then it'll rewrite it, and it takes a wee while depending on how many. So there we go, it's sending back to synth. So obviously any changes you've made with the multi-samples will be updated. So it is just rewriting the whole bank. So you've basically only got one bank file, which I don't understand is why when you open Sample Builder it doesn't automatically open that bank, but never mind. And as you can see, it does take a wee while, but I'll just show you how long it takes in real time. So what I've done is I've actually set up a few presets layering up some of the new multi-samples. So we're going to have a look at that later once this has gone. Oh, jeez, alright. So that's taking a wee while. That's 300 meg. Right, we go. Right, so that's us. So that is sample builder, and I'll leave this up because I'm going to kind of go through some of these. And yeah, it's quite a good reminder of what you actually had set up as far as, you know, one shots and whatever, fixed pitch. So I'll leave this open. So the next thing that you do in your WaveState is create a init performance, which I've got set up, and then you select the wave sequence button, and then it defaults to wave sequence. So if you page back up to wave sequence and change that to single multi-sample, and then page down to, and it always defaults to piano MP. So if you then turn that to access the samples, your bank lights will come on, and you can actually go through. The bank numbers are the different presets. So 2 is bass, 3 is synth, 4 is whatever that is, pads. So your preset bank is 16. So if you press 16, that will bring up all the all your bank, and there they are, all the way through. So it goes right down, way down to whatever the last one is, vocalize. So so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play through some of these. Right. So the first one is an analog strings one. So it is Bad Guys. So let's say this is just right across the keyboard. So no matter which one I press, same thing. Deep pulse. So if we have a look at deep pulse, it is a one shot fixed pitch, but it's only across up to whatever that is, C5 to C2. So that is most of the WaveState keyboard. Dislight textures. Reverse strings. So reverse strings is, let's have a look. Reverse strings. I like that one. So that's analog strings. There's ambient voices. Glossy texture. Luminous orbs. What's luminous orbs? Yeah, so this is looping. It's a fixed pitch loop. So, and then we've got some from Ghost Hack Vocal. So this is complex vocal, and it's 120. So that's quite cool. What a glitch hop. Bit of dubstep. What is that? That's a loop as well. Quite like that one. It's cool. I've got melodic loop. That's probably a loop as well, I think. It's a pity you can't kind of like just skip to the next one. You keep going back, you can't like cycle through these. Well, maybe you can, I don't know. You've got to keep going back forward. And let's have a look at so Oceanic Piano in the Loop Cloud ones is quite nice. I've done a preset using Oceanic Piano and some other stuff. So and then we've got quite a few of this orbiting craft. Chill pads. So, chill pads 2. It's just a one shot. Still got to go through and wrap all these up. Right, I'll find a quick way to do it as well. I forgot to lock those off, right? Right, so I need to go through and ramp up some of these volumes. I mean, that's my volume on the Wavestate full up. Yeah, so some of the samples are obviously better than others. Looking on electro beats. Right, what's electro beats? So anyway, yeah, Jupiter Poly. Let's just turn my volume up a bit. That's better. The volume's maybe a bit low. Yeah, so that was Jupiter Poly, yeah, so and the Mega Mel organ. Let's have a look at that one. It should be about one shot as well, yeah, so. Yeah, so that's quite good. That one worked alright. S bass. Let's have a look. Right, so that's just fixed pitch. I'll take fixed pitch. So it's fixed pitch, but it's like across the keyboard, so let's try and go up an octave or so. Right, let's go down an octave. Down another octave. guess it's set to loop. Yeah, so that one worked alright. Then guitar. Bouncing bass. So these are looping fixed pitches. Drums. So that's just a one shot. And then we've got more from guitar. Oh, these are a bit louder. It's just the drum kits that seem to be a bit quiet. Yeah, because I know you've got the levels full up on this one. So that's just looping away there. These are some of the revels. So these are all from the output free samples that are on my DTC store. So you can download these yourself and have a go. I've used that on quite a few tracks. Ancient Beltree is quite a cool sample actually. Right, and let's have a look. Annihilate Ethereal. I think these are mostly on loop. Yeah, these are all set to loop. Fragments, harmonic noise, icicle cave. So obviously you can apply effects to these delays, reverbs. The single multi-samples you can't. I mean, you can apply, you know, the EDSR stuff and delays, but obviously the mod knobs don't do anything, and all the pitch lanes don't do anything. So indie film. Well, that piano. Let's have a look at that one, see what's going on. There we go. Yeah. So these are just looping. You can whack some delay on. You can change the filter type. Quite cool. Obviously, like I said, once you've layered these up, you can use these as kind of like background textures to the. It's a pianist. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to find some stuff like it was completely different from, you know, what's in the wave state already, and so like I said, there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of kind of reverse stuff. So yeah, so that's quite cool. Right, so stuff from Signal as well, output Signal, airdrops. Let's see what we've got. Airdrops. Grand entrance. Ocean depths. Quite cool. So yeah, so there's some from Substance. So these are all basses. That's really cool. Dual basses. I do like that. Grainy wobble. Let's have a look, see what grainy wobble's all about. Right, here we go. Let's go. Yeah. And last but not least, we're not alone. Right. So that is how you access your own user multi-samples. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Just hit the 16th step on your banks and you're in there, and it says obviously user up there as well. Waves of Light. I did one with Waves of Light. So this is made up of, these are all exhale. So that's ambient voices, glossy texture, and Waves of Light. So let's see what this sounds like. And as you can see, I have taken layer C so that it doesn't come in at the top of the keyboard. I'll turn the volume back down a bit. And obviously you can switch these off and on as well. Just switch that off. So layer B is that glossy texture. You could bring that one down a wee bit. So yeah, so that's one kind of, and the other one is Oceanics ones with the pianos, if I can find, there we go, oh, the Oceanic. Right, so this is Oceanic piano. It's got, what's on B? It is bells and more, I think. And exhale luminous orbs and Music Radar's Dupad. So let's have a wee butcher suit, and obviously I've adjusted the key zones as well. So we can switch some of these off and on. So we've got, I'll take off the piano. Okay. So that's just layer A and B. Bring C back in. Some more delay on that. So yeah, so that's quite a good way of combining these with obviously other samples as well. So anyway, that gives you an idea of what you can do with the whole sample builder, and shows you how to actually access them on the Wavestate. So this is going on way too long because it's showing half an hour on my recording. Right, so that is it for this week. Thanks for watching, and as usual, like and subscribe if you are enjoying these videos, and don't forget to have a look for the links for I'll leave links for Music Radar website, and also go to the store if you want to download these output samples to try importing some of them into the sample builder. Okay, and thanks for watching again, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.